And we're live.
Hello.
Welcome back to another episode of the news. No, just kidding. When did we do the first part? Was that yesterday or the day before? I have no concept of time.
It was 24 hours ago.
Oh, cool.
So there you go.
24 hours ago. All right, perfect. Someone in the comments had asked me if there were other stories like this. And on the same website that I found this one, actually there's a whole entire like a panel of different categories of stories and poetry and all types of stuff. Like just looking at it, there's this story. It says there's 119. There's like one called Isabella, a girl of Muslim Spain. There's something called Stories of the Pious, and it says there's 35 chapters or 35 stories. And then there's just a ton of them. So yes, there are.
Hey, sorry, I'm gonna get kicked out for 1 second because I'm trying to go and open the YouTube video and it just kicks me out for some reason.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and do that. I'm gonna screen share right now.
Okay. Greetings. Okay, so yeah. Okay. I have it open now, thankfully. So yeah, we need to find what is that noise?
Tell me if you can see the screen.
Indeed I can.
Oh, cool. Okay, so this is where we left off. Ahmed had just gotten hit by a car, pushed into a brick wall, and taken away in the ambulance. And his his friend, his buddy decided to go to the nightclub because he wasn't allowed to go to the club.
To the hospital.
With his poor buddy.
Oh.
Okay. So that's
that was a nice recap, like a real episode.
Yeah, that's what happened. Okay.
I love the what is that? Allahu. I can't read that. Whatever that is.
It's so scrunched together. Okay. You see, this is what I'm talking about right here. On the left side, if you look on the left side, it says categories, and there is just a ton of I guess stories and just all types of different stuff.
Women. That sounds like
I like this one right here. It says marriage. It says parenting, pregnancy. I'm kind of curious about what they have to say about marriage. Oh, what just happened?
When I saw sins, I thought it said shits. I don't know why. Dyslexic moment.
What?
I read it shits.
Okay. Anyway, let's get.
Technically, sins are shits. So.
You know what? I don't understand why it says this was posted in 2013, but some of the comments are from 2010. Like that makes no sense.
Maybe it was updated.
Yeah, possibly, because we know that it was posted before 2013, because I remember the house I was living in when I read this, and let's just say it was 2010.
Maybe it's like the Mandela effect or something.
Okay. And I'm surprised I only have one comment. That's crazy. I guess people are just so drawn in by this story that they just like the equivalent of binge watching. They binge read it till they get to the end, and then all the comments are on the first and last chapter. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start. Both Ahmed's parents sat around his hospital bed as he lay there unconscious. Suddenly, Ahmed's eyes began to flutter, and then after a minute, his eyes slightly opened. Well, I love the visual in this. I mean, this person is truly good at just like writing,
painting a picture.
Yeah, painting a real great picture. A lot of details about his eyes. Allahu Akbar, my son. How are you feeling? Wow, what a way to wake him up. Ahmed's mother asked as she bent over, holding her son's hands with hers. Tears began to roll down her cheeks. Of course they did.
When I saw that car coming towards me, I thought that was it. I was going to die.
Quietly said. Oh my gosh. Wait, you got the next line.
How long were you waiting here?
About 11 hours. We made a lot in this room.
I don't know why that
He
makes me
had
laugh.
such a specific time, 11 hours, and also he felt the need to throw it in his face that they made Salat in there. Like,
Yo, this is like an obsessive
this
human, you know?
propaganda, he's like, let me just shove it more in your face that, I find time and places to make Salat. I make Salat in public, in the hospital room.
I've always found
Okay.
it incredibly rude that people could just pray in publicly like that and disturb the peace.
Well, he's not disturbing the peace in the private hospital room, but still, it was just weird that he would say, "We made it in this room." Like,
That just shows
okay,
you how obsessive they are about religion, more so than their own son. Like their son is just like a vehicle for the father to get
oh, he's
highest
definitely trying to live
deeds.
vicariously through him. I mean,
Yeah.
because in one of the previous chapters, the part where he said, my son, I had my kids so that I could hopefully get extra heaven bonus points and get myself into heaven. But how am I supposed to do that if he's being sinful and he's gonna die and go to hell?
It's
Like,
like
how
having a
am I
video
gonna
game.
use him?
Yo, it's like having a sim character that you can't control. Seriously.
I just love the fact that he felt the need to throw that out there. Like, we made a lot in here. It's like, oh, okay. It was a given. You didn't really have to say that, but okay. All
Okay.
right.
He said, "Oh my bad. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah. I mean,
My parents stayed up for me all those hours and continued their worship to Allah. I can't even sit down with my parents for a minute without having to do something that Allah hates." Ahmed thought to himself, I don't understand
I
what
don't know.
that
He
means.
was thinking, I
He said,
guess
I
the
can't
fact
even
that
sit
his
down with my parents for a minute without having to do something that Allah hates. I think what he meant to say is, I can't sit for a minute with my parents without them mentioning Allah constantly. you know?
no, but look, his dad mentioning that he, found the time to make Salah in the room successfully guilt tripped him into feeling bad and like putting himself down, because that's the whole purpose of his dad making that comment, and that's what actually happened, because then he
Yeah.
started feeling bad about it. That
Yeah.
he doesn't pray, even though we've established that he's never prayed. But whatever. Suddenly, tears poured from his eyes. Ahmed's father cuddled him. Oh God. Cuddled him and asked, "What makes you cry, Ahmed?" Oh my gosh. His dad should know better from the time Ahmed was crying in the masjid because he didn't have his mobile. He should
yeah.
he should he should know better than to think that he's the oh, he's crying. You know what? Oh, I just can't stand this family. Like, the dad's always crying, the mom's always crying, now Ahmed's always crying. It's too much crying. And
Yeah.
when people are constantly crying like that, it just takes
Negative vibes,
it takes away the emotional impact in a story than if you had a character who's very stoic and never cries, and then finally at the end of the story has a breakthrough and then has their emotional um, peak of the story. But in
Yeah.
this, everyone is just always crying. So this is what I don't understand, where the comments are like, this story was so emotional and it made me cry. How? Being told that
Because,
someone else cried made you
yeah,
cry? Wow.
exactly.
You're very sensitive. Like, I
Yeah.
understand being an empath, but that's a little too sensitive. Anyway,
Um,
let's just continue.
mm, not sure. Just happy to be alive? Ahmed answered, rather confused, embarrassed to tell his parents how he was feeling.
Okay, when he got hit by the car, how many days did he have left to live? 7, 5? I lost track. Okay, after 2 days in the hospital, Ahmed was released. Wait, they would only keep him in the hospital for 2 days if he had a serious injury, like, or at least a real injury. His left arm was supported in a sling, so the shoulder could recover after the dislocation it suffered. That night, while Ahmed lay in bed resting, his friend Mo called him up. Well, at least he had a cell phone. Hey, Ahmed, I heard you're safe back at home. That's why I decided to call you up when I said on the phone.
I got kicked out.
Oh,
Came. Yeah.
okay, sorry.
What was the last part that you were on?
Oh, I'll just keep reading it and then you can
Okay.
jump in. That's nice. Ahmed answered. He sounds a little flat. Listen, Ahmed, since that night was messed up and you couldn't go to a nightclub, do you want to come down tonight? I was so angry when you had that accident. You should have seen the girls I chatted up at the club when you were brought to hospital.
You know what the problem? You know what the problem that Ahmed truly has is that he's surrounded by sociopath, sociopaths and narcissistic people because his friend is so narcissistic. Like I don't care if he's 16,
Yeah,
he's
the
narcissistic.
yeah, the problem is that even though it's like his family members are toxic, but he doesn't have a supportive friend, his friend is toxic too. So like
Yeah,
at least if he was, if he was dealing with his manipulative family, if he had like a good friend to turn to, then he would be able to help him out. But he actually has no one in his life to turn to.
exactly. Just horrible, horrible people.
So he doesn't know what the heck to do. And the thing is,
Exactly.
his parents are so good at emotionally manipulating him that at this point, they can just be like, look at Mo. He's a bad friend. Use him as an example. This is your time guilt tripping him. This is the time to turn back to Allah and all this stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Okay, so Mo, to be honest,
hi.
I really don't want to go. Damn, I got fucked up. I really don't want to go. Say if this is a warning from Allah. Huh?
Warning? Are you mad? Don't tell me you're becoming an extremist. You know they have the most boring of lives.
They may have a boring life now, but they sure have everything when they die. That sounds
Wait
like
a
some
minute.
terrorist
Wait a
shit.
minute. Is he an ISIS sympathizer? He just he should have said, "No, I'm not an extremist. I'm just moderate." But he was like, "No, extremists have everything."
You
Wait
know,
a
I
minute.
bet you Ahmed was thinking this. He's like, you might have chatted with two girls at the club, but I'm gonna chat with 72 virgins. They go to heaven.
Whoa, that just flew over my head. You know, extremists have the most boring of lives. Yet it's so boring, chopping people's heads off and chopping off their hands and having sex slaves. It's super boring. But you know what?
Yeah,
That's crazy that he was like defending the extremist position. They
yeah.
have a boring
That's how
life.
that's how
Wow.
you know his parents have truly fucked them up.
His parents are probably like terrorist sympathizers too. I mean,
I bet
he
you.
seriously, instead of defending, like, no, I'm not becoming an extremist. Don't be ridiculous. He was like, yes, I I do want to be an
basically,
extremist.
basically, he admitted indirectly that he wants to be in ISIS, and this was around when ISIS started too, like
Oh
2012
my
or something.
god, that's
I
terrible.
bet you this is
This
an
is
ISIS person. I bet you this kid who wrote this story went to ISIS. I'm sorry, that's bad. Morbid. Okay.
okay. All right. So he says, "Come on, Ahmed, we're Muslims. We will go to heaven. Okay, we might be punished in hell for a little while, but we'll all eventually go to paradise, so what's there to worry about? Besides, Allah is merciful. He said, if you believe, he'll forgive you." Ormo spoke without knowledge. They used the same line in the other one,
Yeah, exactly.
where he said the same thing to him earlier. Yo, who wrote this? This is like a low key little extremist kid who was like, all of these Muslims out here trying to be moderate and liberal and all these things. They don't realize they're not gonna get into heaven either.
Yeah.
Not good enough just to think.
Heaven doesn't sound that great anyway, so
Eh.
whatever.
Okay, so
I don't know. Let me think about it. Surely not tonight, as my arm is still in a lot of pain. But tomorrow I will give you the answer. You know the funny thing? No one would talk like this. But anyways, go
right now, well,
ahead.
we've already established that the person who wrote this was not a native English speaker. Like, the English was not their first language. There's no way.
Yeah. Or they could just be a kid who wants to use big words.
All right.
Or not big words, but surely.
Okay. Don't forget to call me tomorrow. I have to now sit down in this boring house and listen to my. Wait a minute. Mo is the one saying this.
Yeah.
But I thought Mo was inviting him out to meet girls. No, wait a minute, wait a minute. He said, "Do you want to come to the nightclub tonight?" But then he says, "Well, I guess I have to sit here and listen to my father reading Quran." So, which one is it? Are you going to the nightclub or are you going to listen to
Maybe he was only gonna go if he had Mo with him. I mean,
Ahmed?
Ahmed with him.
If Mo would have said like, "Oh, I'm going to see my friend Ahmed," and then his dad would be like, "Oh, that good Muslim boy from the good family." That's true. That does
Yeah,
happen sometimes.
yeah.
Okay, I have to now sit down in this boring house and listen to my father reading Quran. Man, they have such a boring life. I don't even know how they can smile. They?
After,
You talking about the extremists again?
I mean, he's talking about his parents.
Oh, okay.
After the phone call, Ahmed sat down on his bed in shock. This is the first time for Ahmed to let down an offer out of fear of what Allah can do to him. Ahmed tried holding back his tears. So
Why is he crying?
the only reason that Ahmed is doing this is because he's afraid that God will
It's not
make
because
him
he
have
doesn't want to
another.
go with his friend. It's because he's afraid that he's going to get hit by a car again and go to hell for sinning, for doing a sin which he didn't even do, by the way, because to begin with,
He didn't
he
even
didn't,
reach it.
yeah, he didn't even go to the nightclub or whatever. He didn't even make it there.
Exactly.
But he's just
Exactly.
so paranoid and terrified. And
I
this
swear
is
to goodness that I swear to goodness
so
that
sad.
like if this was a real person like with his parents that act like this, they all manifested evil things into their life by being afraid and just negative vibes everywhere, nagging,
I don't know. It's just a
controlling.
toxic situation for all of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So
So
again,
he said,
he tried holding back his tears.
how can Allah ever love me? Look what I have done. I have never committed a minute of my patience in time for Allah. I have physically hurt my mother, and yet she still loves me. How can Allah ever forgive me? Ahmed thought to himself. I'm just making sound
Another.
effects.
Yeah, you know what's weird? He says, "I have physically hurt my mother." How does he know that she was hurt? I mean, from what we saw, he just like pushed her to the side and ran away. He didn't actually get to see her like curled up, whining and crying with red eyes and all that stuff and all the dramatics that
Yeah.
happened after he ran down the street.
And
So
then
for
it
all
took
he
a
knows,
whole
he just
day.
like pushed her a little bit,
I
and
bet you his
she's
dad
not the one who ended up
nagged.
in the hospital. He is. So why would he be like, "I hurt her"? He'd be like, "No, I got hurt. Like she just took a little tumble."
I think what happened was his dad probably
Oh yeah, his dad
dramatized.
probably made a huge big deal and exaggerated, like you hurt your mom and this is what you get. Like, you know, you getting hit by that car was
Equal.
Allah's revenge or whatever. Yeah, the justice.
Sorry about
Yeah, his
clearing my
dad
throat
his
there
dad
for a
probably
second.
told him that. Okay, another night has passed and only 4 days until the appointed time of his death. 4 days. Okay, cool. The next day, Ahmed's arm was still in a lot of pain. Ahmed rejected Mo's offer in going to the local nightclub that night. Ahmed spent the whole day thinking about life. Oh, this poor existential little boy. So he turned down going to the club two nights in a row. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is like they go to the club every single night. It's not even a weekend.
How where'd they get all that money from though?
Furthermore, what kind of club is open every single night?
I have no clue. I don't go to clubs, so
Oh my gosh. He said he spent the whole day thinking about life. Days pass and now we enter the final day of his life. What kind of what kind of time lapse is that? What was the point of saying 4 days left and then you're like, no days left. It's the last day. He's gonna die today. Wow.
that's a horrible video game
This is only this is only
glitch.
chapter 5. He's already on the last day of his life. I don't oh my god. Okay. Days pass and now we enter the final day of Ahmed's life. Nobody knows, not even the angels of death. Sorry, honey, that's wrong. How's the angels of death supposed to do their job if they don't have the list, the paper given to them at the beginning of their work week, their work day when they punch in, be like, Allah's like, here you go. This is the list of people you got to go assassinate today. How are they supposed to do their job if they don't even know who they're supposed to kill? This is faulty. Clearly, whoever wrote this story just like doesn't know their lore very well. Okay, the day is Thursday. Oh my god. The day is Thursday. Ahmed wakes up early after having a bad dream. Fortunately, his arm is out of the sling. It should be out of the sling. It's been like a week and he's milking this whole dislocated shoulder thing. Okay. I mean, I know it's not fun, but it's not like he broke it. Ahmed slowly goes down the stairs and sits at the kitchen table. Nobody seems to be at home. He finds his father's work on the table. He picks up his work to move it to the desk. As he is carrying his father's work, a small diary accidentally falls on the floor. After his father's papers had been put back carefully, Ahmed curiously opens up his father's diary, and there written on the front page are the words of Allah from Quran. This is so caveman. The words of Allah from Quran. What a freaking little sneak. What a nosy little... He has no concept of privacy. He's just like, oh, a diary? Let me read this. Wow.
I would do the same though.
I know, but like, my parents... they're supposed to be I'm not even gonna start. Okay, so his dad, for some reason, decided to quote the Quran in his own thing instead of just writing the verse and like chapter. He's like, let me copy down this entire thing. Like he's doing homework that he assigned himself. Oh, my servants who have not servants, slaves, but okay, who have transgressed against themselves by committing evil deeds and sins. Despair not the mercy of Allah. Truly, He is the oft forgiving, most merciful. Yeah, that type of rhetoric is probably what gave his friend Mo the idea that he's actually forgiving and merciful. But his bad.
Oops.
So he read one tiny little verse, just one, and Ahmed suddenly burst into tears. Is this like the fourth time he's cried in a row?
As he always does.
I can't with this. Such an emotional little... I've never ever seen a 16-year-old boy that emotional. Maybe he has like a hormonal imbalance.
Maybe
it's possible.
Maybe he's gonna what is it? Become transgender. Like later on. No, I'm saying like a hormonal imbalance, right?
He's a woman inside. He just looks like oh my god. Stop. Women are not even that emotional. That's not even an excuse. He's just crying all the time.
Not only are we being sexist right now, but we're being
Shut up.
We're just kidding.
Disclaimer: I'm not transphobic. I can't speak for her.
Me either. No. Hey! You know me. I love that lifestyle.
I know. Okay. Suddenly burst into tears. His hands began to shake, and his vision becomes blurred. Wow, is he having a seizure? He flicks through a few pages and reads the following. Okay, so he opened his dad's diary. He read one little verse, started crying, decided not to read it in order, goes for it, flips a few pages, gets to this part. Okay, we're about to read his diary. This is Ahmed's father.
Yeah.
I was away from Allah. I sinned against my soul. Far away was I from Allah. It's like talking like Yoda. I turned to Allah and then fell into sin again when my two sons were born.
What the fuck did you do? Did you cheat on your wife?
He had two. What? He had two. Okay, he had two sons and then a daughter, and then no, that's not true. He had three sons because he had two sons and then Ahmed has a younger sister. So he had three sons and then a daughter. So he said, I fell into sin again when my two sons were born. That's kind of curious. Isn't it the opposite? Don't people usually try to be more religious when they have kids?
Nah,
Ahmed
they have
flicks.
midlife crises.
That's definitely what happened. Flicks through more pages, and what he reads shocks him even more. My little Ahmed, my third son. He is 5 years old now. It is him who turned me back to Allah. He saw me once watching TV and asked, if a sheikh came into the room and saw you, what would you do? I answered, I would quickly turn off the TV. My son answered me back, but Baba, Allah is watching you all the time and he is more pure than all the sheikhs in the world. My mouth dropped. I felt disgraced with myself. I turned back to Allah, vowing to keep my duty to Allah. My wife Aliyah also made the vow. Ahmed continued to read on. This makes no sense. I thought he was a convert. Wait,
Yeah.
wait.
Well, they never stated
If
that
they
though.
taught him, I know, but it made sense. If they were teaching him about Allah from when he was 5 and he's 16 now, why has he never made prayer before? That's what I don't get. Okay. My Ahmed has mixed in with the wrong crowd. I see him moving away from his religion. I have failed. My son changed me by the will of Allah. How can I change him? What if my actions will make my son turn back to Allah? Wait a minute. There's a thing from when he was 5. That's over 11 years. This diary is old. I just I still think
Wait,
it's a
but
really
that doesn't make any sense because if it's old, then why would like he's talking about Ahmed like he's older, like my Ahmed
exactly.
has mixed in.
He's mixing with the wrong crowd. Even if he started mixing with the wrong crowd when he was 11, being like a little kid, little gangster, that's still like a 5 year gap or a 6 year gap from when he was 5 years old, trying to be this. Well, not saying he was a stuck up little kid, but he was just trying to do, you know. A 5 year old's not going to say that anyway. Get out of my face. Anyway,
I'm sorry, little
I don't
kids
know.
are cute and everything. They
They
say cute
might.
things,
They might.
but
He was just trying to be helpful. I mean, this is what he was taught. Anyway.
exactly.
Okay. He's mixing with the wrong crowd. My son changed me by the will of Allah. How can I change him? What if my actions will make my son turn back to Allah? Ahmed decided that was the time to close the diary, tears rolling down his face, of course. Ahmed got hold of a pen and paper and wrote down the following. Wait. My father. Oh, go ahead, you read it.
Oh, okay. My father, I have read your diary. I changed you when I was a child through my questioning by the will of Allah. Your words of your what? Your words of your diary have turned me back to Allah by His will and command. Ahmed slipped the page into his father's diary on the last page he had read. Um, uh,
It's just so weird. Like he wrote a note and stuck it in there. If his dad was sane, he would be like, kind of annoyed, at the very least annoyed that his son just invaded his privacy and read his private thing.
well, I mean,
But he would like not care because he said he said
because
your
this is
words
Ahmed's
have
last
turned
day.
me your words have turned me back to Allah. It's
Ahmed
like
can't do
turned you
nothing wrong right
back.
now
He did,
on Earth.
he turned you back. Like you literally haven't done anything yet. Okay, but this was the pivotal moment where he decided, okay, that what he was gonna do.
You
So
know,
he
this is
got up.
fucked up if you think about it. Because Allah, like, okay, the first thing was like a warning, and then He gives him like 5 days after. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do in 5 days?
Yeah, but look, all he did was I know what you mean. Like when he got hit by the car, and then after that, what he did that entire like week was just thinking, because there was a one earlier on in the chapter and it said he spent the whole day thinking about life. So it's like, okay, but that wasn't the moment where he decided, like, I'm gonna become this. Also, you know what else is terrible about this? There used to be this hypothetical thing that was like, oh, if you're about to die, um what are you gonna do right before you die? Are you gonna declare Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior? Are you gonna say the Shahada? Like, you're supposed to do something right before you die just to make sure you make it into the right heaven or something. So it's kind of promoting that. Look, he's gonna do whatever, and then right before he dies, he's gonna decide to to be a good Muslim, but he doesn't actually get to practice. I don't know. Well, he might
Yeah.
practice a little bit. Okay. So Ahmed got up, and for the first time on his own, he performed wudu for the first time in his life. Ahmed put his clothes and shoes on. Wait, his clothes and shoes on. He was naked performing wudu. That's called a shower.
What the fuck is he? What is this?
He was taking a shower, okay, and then he put his clothes and shoes on and walked towards the masjid. Unfortunately, little did Ahmed know that Mo, his friend, was going to take the same road as him. Will Mo influence him back to the road to hell? Can Ahmed influence Mo to the road towards paradise? Will Ahmed continue on the road he is on? What is this road called? Like I feel like they got a little
Oh my god,
confused.
it's
This is an
that
actual
road,
street
the
outside of
crossroad.
his house. And they're like, he's walking on this street and his friend is also on the same street, but then they were talking about metaphorical streets. Like his it says, will Mo influence him back to the road to hell? So they've already established and decided that Mo is definitely on the road to hell, and he had Ahmed on the road to hell. Like they were both going to go to hell. Determined, already decided. The terrible thing about this story is that moderate Muslims, speaking for myself, well, speaking for, people that we know today, I don't know, feminist Muslims, and not just feminists, but like, that those imam guys who are like I'm the liberal imam and all that stuff. I don't think it's haram to listen to music. Those guys.
Yeah.
They would say this is kind of effed up. Even as an author of just a story, you don't really have the power to be telling someone that they're going to go to hell for what? What did he do? What actual sins did he do? Nothing. He used to listen to music. He talked about girls. He never talked to girls. He didn't fornicate. He didn't say anything about him kissing a girl. The only actual sin that's not a sin that he did was something that he didn't do, which is he's never made salat. And we can't even blame him for that.
Yeah, his parents failed him in this case.
But just because, like, oh, he's never made salat, I mean, can you even call him, can you even say that he was really a Muslim or raised a Muslim? I mean, yeah, he was a Muslim by belief because he said clearly that, he believes Allah. And he even said, like, I love Allah. That should be enough for him. So I don't know. I think that he wasn't given enough information to fully be considered a Muslim and to be held accountable for his actions of not making prayer when he wasn't even taught how. And then the person who's writing the story is basically judging him by saying, hey, he was on the road to hell, and
Yeah.
putting all of the accountability on him when it doesn't seem like it was his fault.
He didn't deserve that.
Because look, the dad said, okay, when Ahmed was 5 years old, he was trying to be a good little Muslim little kid. So his dad was like kind of religious. And then he said that he fell into sin.
Which
Let's
means he
pretend.
cheated on his wife.
Why do you always say that?
Because it just makes sense. Like fell into
Why
sin.
does
What's
that
the
have
other?
to be the
Because
thing
I
that
feel
he
like
did?
I feel like that's the first thing that like a man would, a Muslim man would do.
He
That was,
fell into this girl named Sin.
her name was Lily.
Oh shit! Nah, I don't fucking know guy's name Mohammed.
Yeah.
Um, so
I
basically,
meant like Lilith.
I know. Oh, my bad. Okay, let's say that he wasn't a convert, which is even worse. If Ahmed's dad's not a convert, that makes the story so much worse, because that
Yeah.
means that he was. That means that Muhammad was religious, and then he kind of fell off and wasn't really practicing that much, and like being super obsessive about it. Probably wasn't praying and doing all that stuff, and then he like had some kids and he was just living his life normally, and then he had Ahmed, and Ahmed like guilt tripped him and shamed him basically, and then he was like, midlife crisis time, I gotta be religious. And then and then and then from the time that Ahmed was 5 up until the time he was 16, if his dad was religious that entire time, it's just such a shame that Ahmed did not know how to make wudu
Yeah.
or pray. a single time in his life.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm done. I'm done. We just say the
Okay.
same thing over and over again, but I just can't get over it. Let's go to the next chapter.
Okay.
Either way, he's a shitty father.
In every way.
All right. So he made wudu, he put his clothes on, and he started walking to the masjid. We don't know what time of day it is. We just know that he is walking outside with the intent of going to the masjid.
Yeah.
He is on the road to the masjid. Ahmed felt pure, a feeling of a happiness that is indestructible, and this happiness is one that can only be felt after doing a deed pleasing to Allah while continuing on a right path. Doing a deed? I'm sorry, making wudu doesn't count as a good deed. It's only the actual prayer.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he has the intention of it.
Mm-hmm.
Ahmed walked down the street, listening to the birds around chirping, praising Allah in ways he knows best. Very vague.
What?
Very vague. I don't even know. Oh, he's saying that the birds are praising Allah. Oh, of course, because every time you hear a bird chirping, it's actually saying Allahu Akbar in bird language.
Oh my god.
Suddenly, Mo came around the corner unexpectedly. Ahmed! So good to see you again! Mo called out.
I just imagine Beast Boy.
Ahmed smiled. Where are you off to? Mo asked. That's
Ahmed smiled.
I said that already. Where are you off to?
Oh,
Mo
oh,
asked.
well, to be honest, Mo, I'm going to the masjid.
What? Are you mad? That place?
Listen, Mo, you won't understand until until you open your eyes.
Very vague. And are your eyes open?
I am at least trying.
Ha! You can live your life in boredom, Ahmed, but at the end of the day, someday I'll be in the same heaven as you, and then you'll regret not having fun now.
Mo, how are you so sure of entering paradise?
Yes! Even though you did not ask a question, that you didn't ask a yes or no question, but yes, because because Allah and His Prophet said.
We are in no situation to start interpreting hadith, Mo. Anyway, do you really think that the people of paradise will regret not doing sinful things? In fact, it would be the complete opposite. Mo is the real MVP here, man. He knows.
Poor kid. I mean, I still feel bad for him because even though he's kind of not the best friend, he's kind of a douchey friend, but like at least he's trying.
Yeah.
I cannot believe you have gotten brainwashed, Ahmed. But I know a way to change your mind. Ahmed smirked towards Mo and quickly ran off. No, no. What they mean is Mo smirked towards Ahmed and ran off. Mo's the one
Yeah.
who ran off. They just a little typo there. But oh,
Yeah.
I love the part where he said we're in
Just
no
imagine the
situation
creepy smirk.
we're in no situation to start interpreting hadith. Wow. Good. Good one. That's amazing. Like, why? Why are laymen not allowed to interpret hadith? You have to have someone else tell you what it means. This is not even the Quran he's talking about. He's not saying we're not allowed to interpret Quran, which still would be uh, a messed up statement to make. But why are you not allowed to interpret hadith? It's straightforward.
Exactly.
It
Because
says
you're not allowed to question anything, apparently.
exactly. You need someone to tell you what to think because
Yes.
you need to be
Don't trust Google,
brainwashed. You need to
friends.
be a sheep. Don't even trust your own mind. You need
Yeah.
to go to that sheikh and have them thought police you and tell you what it means because
Exactly.
you're not allowed to try and figure out what it means for yourself. You're in no position to start interpreting hadith. Not allowed. Free thought. Free. Oh my god. Free thought not allowed here. Okay. So Mo ran away. Oh no. What is he up to? Ahmed thought to himself. Ahmed continued on towards the masjid. As Ahmed walked towards the doors of the masjid, the hairs on his body stood on end.
This is it, Ahmed said to himself as he opened the door of the masjid and entered.
Why did the hairs of his body stand on end?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they meant to say goosebumps, but they couldn't think of the
Oh,
word.
okay. Because I was gonna say that just sounds like he was scared. Like this is a horror movie. That's
I mean, might as well be. You don't get goosebumps for no reason.
okay. I thought he was going there in normal prayer times. I'm done, man. So he entered the mosque. Inside was empty. Inside was very quiet. Ahmed walked over to the corner of the masjid and sat down, facing the qibla. How does he even know what a qibla is?
I don't know, man. Maybe it's just because they have that sign, like like you
Maybe
know.
it's because the one time his dad took him to the masjid, he remembers because it was only a week ago. That's okay, whatever.
I just thought about something that I never thought of before in a
Mm.
masjid, right? In a musalla.
Mm-hmm.
How do they know that's, I mean, technically they have a room, right? And they have to choose a room that is facing a certain, position. So it's like, but you remember the musalla, it was like straightforward. Like you enter and then it's
Mm-hmm.
like straightforward. And so I'm like thinking in my head, like, were they ever praying towards the qibla or
It
whatever?
depends. Because I've been to a masjid before where the way that the construction of the building is, the door to enter the room is at the front. So when you enter the room, you're automatically like boom, you're standing in front and there's rows of people praying towards you and you have to like scoot out of the way really quick because they can't reposition the door to the back of the room. So it was really weird.
Oh, that would be so awkward.
It is. It
But
was. I
yeah.
remember that I used to sneak in and like run. It was like a video game when you have to like sneak in and run as quickly as possible to the sides, and then you have to cling to the walls so that nobody prays in your direction, so they don't think that you're walking in front of people while they're praying. So
Yeah.
disrespectful. Oh, all right.
They shouldn't even be paying attention anyways. But anyways,
So
Ya Allah, forgive me. I am so afraid of you now. I have done so much that you hate, yet you did not take my soul.
he's like, want to bet? Just wait. Today's the
For
day.
two for 2 whole hours Ahmed cried and spoke to Allah. Tears streamed down his face. In fact, he cried so much the carpet beneath his face was wet with tears. I'm sorry, but if you think about it, this is like evil from like Allah is evil because like
Damn, that
this
is quite a
kid
statement.
this kid yeah, like
I don't even blame Allah in this situation. I blame his parents, his mom and dad, because they're the ones guilt tripping him to feel like he feels manipulated and all this stuff. And it's like Allah's never like guilt tripped him. Allah never told him, like specifically spoke to him one on one. His dad is primarily the one who guilt tripped him to this extent to make him feel like he has to be crying or else his faith is not valid for anything.
yeah.
If you're not constantly crying, if you don't cry every time you read a single verse from the Quran, if you don't cry when you make salat, if you're not always crying at the thought of this, like, then you're not a good enough Muslim or something. I really
Yeah,
feel like he was.
very
This
dramatic.
entire story is full of guilt tripping from the
Yeah.
from the father's side. Anyway, so it says for 2 whole hours Ahmed cried and spoke to Allah. Well, I don't know if that counts as a prayer. I don't know if that counts as a lot, like crying for 2 hours. Um, and I guess they could say spoke to Allah counts as like, oh, he was praying, but
Hmm.
is that's not what that's separate from salat. That's like dua and just like that's not praying though, because when you pray you have the certain things that you're supposed to be saying. You don't fill in the blanks with whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Like you can't be like, oh, this is the part where I'm going to say the fatiha, and instead of instead of a surah I'm just going to tell God how much I'm sorry. and and that he's scared. Oh, that's the worst part. He said, I am so scared of you now. He wasn't
Yeah,
like,
that's the worst part.
forgive me. Like before he got hit by the car, he said, it was like in the first chapter, he said, I love Allah. He loved him. Now he's afraid of him.
Yeah, they
And
ruined it, man.
he's not saying anything about love now. So I think that, I don't know, love and fear, it's possible to have them both, but they're not very compatible.
Yeah, it's impossible to. Well,
For I
it's
think
not
for a,
impossible, but
yeah, like I said, it's not impossible. I mean, because they're supposed to compare it to a parent. Oh,
or like an
you can
abusive
love your
boyfriend
mom but
or
still
wife.
kind of fear them. But see, I think that fear is the wrong word because it's not supposed to be a deep-seated terror, terrified, like being terrified of that person. It's like,
It's more like
having
respect.
yeah, exactly. Having love and respect totally go hand in hand, but love and fear, being terrified, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue. We'll be here forever. So the carpet was wet with his tears. Time passed on. Suddenly, the local sheikh entered the room and spotted Ahmed. He stood for a moment, listening to Ahmed's dua. He was speaking out loud. Wow, this kid is on a roll. He was so moved by it, his eyes began to shed tears. Of course they did. We got the mom, the
Sigh.
dad, Ahmed, the
The
sheikh.
sheikh.
Did Mo cry yet? No, he did cry, didn't he, when Ahmed got hit by the car? Everybody crying
Did
in.
he? I don't know. I don't
Did
even
he?
remember Mo
Maybe.
crying.
Well, he's gonna cry. It's just a matter of time. He slowly approached Ahmed and carefully comforted him. Ahmed jumped slightly. Oh,
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 sheikh. I, I am sorry for. Ahmed said, embarrassed, but before he could finish, the
is
sheikh
this an
said,
anime? Is this a role play?
wait. I should do
Oh,
like a
Sheikh.
Hinata voice.
Ooh,
Wait. Oh, sheikh. Uh,
what does she?
I am sorry. I am sorry for. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, okay. I I am sorry for. He said for what? He said embarrassed, but before he
Wait.
could finish,
Oh, sheikh, son. Watashi, watashi wa. No. I remember. Oh, sheikh-san. So me. What is it called?
"Gomenasai,
Gomenasai.
moshiwaki arimasen." Like,
No, they say the other thing is like
"Sumimasen."
sumina. Yeah, sumimasen. Yeah, sumimasen.
Oh,
Because
Sheikh-san,
because I was
sumimasen.
watching this Japanese drama recently, and they said
Yeah.
that like, and it was like basically she
Yeah.
was saying I am sorry, and it was like sumi, like
Okay.
that. So
All
that's
right.
why I thought.
So anyway, before he could finish, the sheikh said, "Ahmed, it's okay. I see that you feel embarrassed, but that is good. It is better to be embarrassed than one who shows off," the sheikh said as he smiled towards Ahmed. Wait, I
Didn't Ahmed
feel
just showed off?
he was showing off. That what purpose is there to be saying your du'as out loud? You're supposed to say that in your head or like whisper it, not be in the alone in the masjid shouting and crying for two
Maybe he thought it
hours.
was church, man. Because isn't that what they do there?
Oh
They go to
my god.
confessionals and stuff. I feel like this was more
What are
similar
the
to a
kind of confessional?
confessional.
One of those hype churches?
Yeah. Go
Okay.
ahead.
You kill me. No, what I was gonna say is that I feel like the person who wrote this story, they like came across a hadith or something, and they just wanted an excuse to throw it in there and have this be like a like a fortune cookie sheikh who just comes and he quotes the little thing to show off that he's a real sheikh. You know,
Yeah.
it's better to be embarrassed than one who shows off. You know, that's his little fortune cookie
Yeah.
quote. Okay. Your father and mother would be really proud of you. But most and best of all, you have submitted your whole self to Allah. The sheikh continued on.
I angered my parents. Oh, my bad.
Sorry,
I
go ahead.
angered my parents. Oh, Sheikh. How can I make them happy? Ahmed said.
You have already made them happy when they see you now. Your father is very proud of you. Wait, what? Okay,
I
this sheikh
mean,
has some problems with like verb tenses. Like, is this in the past or the present? Because this
I,
sheikh he's confused.
maybe this is all a simulation, and like
Mm.
this. I don't know, because this is weird. I mean, I want to get them something nice as a gift.
Hmm. Well, you can get your mother some flowers or chocolate, and your father some perfume, maybe? Because I know that guy, your dad, always comes into the musalla, and
Smelling like
with all due respect, that dude
cologne.
stinks. He needs some perfume, please. Please. He's killing all the other brothers.
Oh my god. I love
But
that, like,
he said, get your mother some flowers or chocolate. Okay. I mean, I guess it's not always a romantic thing, but it just sounds so Valentine's-y.
also
Is that just me?
perfume is more expensive than flowers or chocolate, so I think that's rude. Like, the father is better than the mother. You trying to
Unless he
get some
means a
more.
cheap perfume.
Man, I don't know. Ahmed smiled and said, "Wonderful idea. I will do it. I mean, do that." Sorry.
Here, the sheikh said as he handed Ahmed two small pieces of paper and a pen. Write a small message to each of your parents and stick it on the gifts when you buy them, the sheikh said. This is a whole plot. You know what? The father told the sheikh to do this. He's in on it. The
Yeah,
father was like, tell him to buy us stuff. Because there's
yeah.
no way he casually had two pieces of paper and a pen. He was like, this is all planned out.
This is definitely some evil, weird, like surveillance type of shit. There's like like they probably microchip their son too, you know?
Microchip.
Yeah.
Like a pit bull.
No, I mean microchipped, like the
Oh
thing
my
that they put
gosh.
into dogs to find
Yes.
them.
Yeah, okay, so he said, write a
Ahmed,
message and stick it
yeah.
on the gifts. Ahmed began to write down small messages to his mother and father on the separate pages. Look at how
جزاك
he
الله
spelled it.
خير. جزاك الله
Jazakallah
خير. Sheikh, I cannot wait to get back and see my parents smile, Ahmed said ecstatically as he got up.
khair. Oh my god, the spelling. Barakallah
Barakallahu
fikum.
fikum.
What? Ahmed,
Wait a
I
minute, wait a
cannot.
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Is that normal? Barakallahu fikum?
That's not even the response to when somebody says Jazakallah khair to you.
That's weird.
It
Barakallahu
is
fikum.
weird.
I'm
That's a
suspicious
weird
about something.
response. That's not even what like I used to say when someone said
Yeah.
okay.
I'm pretty sure it's said in a different way. Jazakallahu khairan.
Yeah, it's that's what I'm telling
Barakallahu.
you. They spelled it wrong
Yeah,
because
but
it
like
says.
the one that says barakallahu fikum, like
Listen,
I don't
even
know.
Sheikh is spelled with one K and not the KH.
Yeah, 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 that's
Like
weird.
this person spelled everything wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I cannot wait for Isha prayer tonight to see you and your father come, inshallah. Okay, so that means that Isha is the next prayer, which means that right now it's around Maghrib time, probably after because he said that the this makes no sense. He said that the masjid was empty when he got there, and it was empty the entire 2 hours he was sitting there crying by himself.
Yeah.
So, like, it must have just finished Maghrib, and he was just sitting there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
You will see us both, inshallah, Ahmed answered. Ahmed gave the sheikh a big hug and began to make his journey towards some local shops.
Local shops that are all open after Maghrib, by the way.
Yeah.
But, like, these places, where can you buy a bouquet of flowers and perfume? Business
CVS,
hours are like 6 p.m. Okay, stop. All right, well, I guess he
Walmart.
went to CVS then. Thank you.
But he's
He
British,
walks
so
to
they probably
Walmart.
don't have that.
Exactly. Okay, it's fine. Ahmed spent some time selecting some gifts for his parents with the money he got. What money?
When
Did the
the
sheikh give him money? Wait,
those
we
two
missed
papers were
this
money.
exchange. Okay, right. He managed to buy some lovely perfume for his father. Why? I just slapped myself in the face. And a
I heard a
delicious
slap.
box of chocolates for his mother. Oh, fuck her. She ain't getting the flowers. After buying the gifts, he stuck the small messages on them and prepared his blessed journey home. Blessed. Time ticks away. Not a single human or jinn on this earth has realized that Allah has just ordered the angel of deaths to prepare to take a few people's soul, including Ahmed's. I can't.
Dun dun dun.
It says angels of death, so he's sending multiple angels to hunt this nigga down.
I laughed
It's
at
an
an
entire
evil way.
army. They're like, go assassinate him.
I'm pretty sure it's because it wasn't his time to die, and they
He
were
has a
like,
mark on his head.
the Shinigami's come down.
Oh, snap. Your time is up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to stop. Ahmed begins his journey home, still constantly seeking Allah's forgiveness. Mo, with a half-dressed girl in his arms, spots Ahmed from a distance and smirks, making his way towards Ahmed, preparing to perform his disgusting, sinful plan.
Oh my god. Wait,
Oh my
making my way
god.
downtown.
What plan? We don't know what the plan is.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and I'm homebound. Da, 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 da.
A pious, elderly Muslim lady prepares to cross the road. Ahmed begins to cross the road. Mo quickly runs to the center of the road and calls out, Yo, Ahmed, look at the chick I got for you. She can be yours right now. I mean, literally right now. She will take her clothes off in the middle of the street.
Oh no, ya Allah help me, Ahmed says to himself, trying his best to keep staring towards the ground, knowing that his weak point are women. The pious elderly I'm sorry. The pious elderly wait, fuck, I got confused.
I'm sorry.
The pious elderly woman the pious elderly Muslim lady begins to cross the road, and then death prepares to strike from all angles.
From all angles.
Wait. Why does it have to? They're living in Britain or whatever. Like, how likely is it that an elderly Muslim lady is just going to be walking around? Like, why couldn't it be a different lady from a different religious background? Why does it always have to be only Muslims? It's almost like you can only help Muslim people.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
anyways,
that's true. That's messed up. And I love the fact that it said a pious, pure, a pious elderly Muslim lady. How do you know she's pious? Just
how
because
the
she's wearing a
hell?
hijab? Let's be honest, she's wearing a hijab. She's an old hijabi Muslim lady. She's probably an ex-Muslim, but you just assume she's pious because she's wearing a hijab. Let's be real.
I mean, literally, like, when I was a kid, I used to think that hijabs were for old ladies because, from like my background, like only older
Yeah,
people used to, to wear it, and the young,
yeah.
whatever, teenagers, whatever, young adults don't do that. So, like, for me, it's like something that they wear only after they get old enough and they're like, I don't want to fucking do my hair anymore. Or I'm too old, or cultural. I feel like it's a cultural thing as some
Yeah,
like when it gets
I
to a
love.
certain point.
Oh no, ya Allah help me! Trying to keep staring towards the ground, trying to lower his gaze. At least he's trying, but at the
Yeah,
same time,
he's
he
trying.
can't lower his gaze because there's a woman about to cross the road.
Why isn't he worried
Okay, so
about the
death
old
is gonna
lady?
strike from all angles. So there's like 6 angels of death, and they're gonna come from like north, south, east, and west, and from the top, and they're just gonna all, just all. How many angels does it take to kill a guy? I mean, I used to think it was only one angel of death.
Well,
Why do we need a million angels? Why did Allah
I'm
send a
pretty sure that
battalion of angels to kill this
I'm
boy? He
I'm
had it
pretty
out for
sure.
him.
Yeah, he just wanted to make his life miserable.
His death. Oh my goodness, yo! Here, look at this. See, this one says that it was 2007, and this is 30 comments. Okay.
Okay,
Ahmed stares to the
shall
ground and
we?
continues to cross the road. Question? Shaitan senses the presence of death and rushes towards his enemy, Ahmed. Look at the what? Oh my
Sigh.
goodness. I gotta
I'm
do my
gonna
best
sigh so
Shaitan voice.
hard because look, why the fuck would Shaitan even give a fuck at
Why
that
would he
point about
be
him?
there specifically at that moment? And why is
Yeah,
Ahmed his enemy? I'm done. It's too many questions. And also the fact that it says like Ahmed is his enemy because he is a Muslim was one of the things that contributed highly to me like kind of distancing myself from Islam very early on. Well, not very early on, but like early on in the process of me like becoming ex-Muslim because remember it was like if he's if he's really like religious and practicing, then shaitan and all the jinns are gonna like constantly be attacking him and trying
Yeah.
to bother him and lead him astray. But if he's not really practicing that much, then shaitan's gonna leave him alone. I mean, shaitan is not bothering Mo. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but if I have to choose between the devil himself bothering me, I'm gonna try to do something so the devil doesn't bother me, because
Exactly.
it just makes sense. So anyway, he
Yeah.
goes, so he look at the woman, Ahmed. She is beautiful. Look at her to get rid of your get what? Get rid of your satisfaction.
What are you talking about?
Is that how it works? You look at a woman and then you just instantly poof. Is he gonna like premature you know what in his
Ejaculate.
pants? Is that how he gets rid of his satisfaction?
Wow.
He whispers in his ear. Suddenly, a truck several yards from the group loses control. Automatically loses control. A loud screech is heard from the group as they
Saved
turn
by the
around
Bell.
and spot the truck skidding towards them. Ahmed sees that the pious Muslim elderly sister is in the line of collision. He drops the bags and rushes towards the sister. This is, oh my gosh, shit just escalated quickly. By Allah, if I'm gonna do. Oh, wait. By Allah, if I'm gonna do something for Allah, I will save this Muslim sister to make Allah happy. He says to himself as he rushes to her and pushes her out of the way. In those moments, the truck. The truck smacks into Mo. Holy shit, Mo got hit by a truck. And the girl he is with, knocking them flying into the air. Dang. Next in line is Ahmed. Ahmed manages to push the elderly sister out of the way, but he is caught up in the collision. Within seconds, all three teenagers are lying in pools of blood.
Oh
Holy
Allah,
shit, I didn't see
I
that
am
coming.
scared. I do not want to die
This
like
is too
this.
much. Wait.
I did
Can we
not
just.
even do my full 5 prayers yet. I did not fast.
Wait, let me
Ahmed
go.
slowly says, sorry, I'm done. Ahmed,
Tears roll down his face. Blood pours from the side of his body and his skull. How is he still alive? Blood
maybe
pours
it's
from
like
his
5 seconds
skull.
before he dies.
Yeah, he does not have a lot of time left to live. The collision made enough sound for people to rush out of their homes. Even the imam of the local masjid came running out. The
So
sheikh,
it's his fault for
okay,
sending
is
him
he an
out on the
imam or a
message.
sheikh? Like they just using it interchangeably. The sheikh spotted Ahmed in the distance and ran towards him as fast as he could. Ahmed! The imam calls out as he rushes towards him, taking hold of his bloodied hand. Okay, he takes hold of his hand, so he's right in front of him. Pronounce Shahada! He calls out. He calls out right in his face as the boy is like bleeding through his skull, but he's yelling in his face, "Say the Shahada!" Why is he screaming in his face? He probably
Yo.
can't even talk. He's like dying. Suddenly, no, it's not like call 911, call an ambulance. No, it's like fuck that. Say the Shahada.
Yeah.
What an asshole. He doesn't even want to help him.
He's already
Suddenly,
saying he's dead, you know?
yeah, a strange, cold breeze is felt by Ahmed. In confusion, he looks up and what he sees is something he could have never imagined in his life. So we've already established that he has had a head injury. He has very likely has brain trauma, but he's convinced this is real. Two groups of astonishing angels begin descending from the sky. One group shining like the sun, wings spreading as far as the eyes can see, a radiating beauty spreading from their faces and bodies with comforting arms stretching forth. The other group, on the other hand, have faces and bodies dark and terrifying, faces of extreme horror, sounds of thunder bursting from their mouths, carrying tools of torture within their hands. La ilaha illallah. He doesn't even know how to say
Wait.
it right.
Let me say it. La ilaha illallah, illallah, illallah.
Why? Why? I hate you. He calls out. Wow, so he actually has the physical capacity to speak. and he is instantly manipulated into feeling that he has to say this. He's having a full-blown hallucination right in front of his face. He has severe head trauma, but the poor kid is still running. He's just writing this to the last second. Imam smiles, tears rolling down his face. He spots sweat appear upon Ahmed's forehead. The Imam knew that one who dies with sweat upon the brow is a good sign. I knew it. I told you. This is a fortune cookie Imam. He just quoted a hadith. Muhammad said, he who dies with sweat upon his brow is going to heaven or some crap like that.
Dude, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, like the person who created this story only added the sheikhs just so that they could find a good placement for hadith, like you said. Like, just because, I mean, it doesn't make any. It's not that it doesn't make any sense. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, he
It's
just
kind
threw
of like
that in there.
It's kind of like Dora the Explorer. That's like, she's going around. She's like, what
This
do
is
we
just
call
such an
this?
incredibly vague hadith to bring in there that I think it's funny that he would say that. He who dies with sweat upon the brow. I mean, let alone the fact we don't know where Ahmed lives. It might be hot. We've already established it's probably summer because he's having summer vacation and because he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have school. So it's summer, it's hot, everyone's probably sweating. Even more so, you know, Muhammad and like the people in that time, looking at their geographic location, it would be hot. People would most likely be sweating. So if you're going to die, you're probably going to die sweaty. So it's very likely that
Yeah.
you're going to be sweating before you die.
Yeah.
So it's just such a like vague, all-encompassing hadith to throw in there. Oh my goodness. It's just something like you tell someone to comfort them. Oh, did your dad die? Like, did he have sweat on his face? Yeah, he's going to heaven. Like, you
Yeah.
should feel good about that. Ahmed still has no idea which groups of angels are going to whom, but he assumed that they're going to someone. Suddenly, Ahmed feels a relief that no human can ever feel in this life as he realizes that the angels of extraordinary beauty are looking at him. Ahmed raises his hands towards theirs, wanting to get away from the pain. This is fucked up. No more crying, Ahmed. Come to us.
That's
We
so
are your friends.
creepy.
We love you so much, Ahmed. We will look after you and care for you until you meet Allah, who is very happy with you for making salat that one time. The angels call out as their hands come into contact with Ahmed's. Slowly, they take Ahmed's soul more gently than a caring mother, lifting her newborn child. Yeah, so they're taking his soul, they're just lifting his soul out of his body, but leaving his body there, obviously, because it would be weird if his body just started floating. So they're just like removing him from his body. Tears flow down the cheeks of Ahmed as he is left in absolute shock. Wait, tears? You're a spirit now. You can't have tears.
Yeah, you can't. Exactly.
He is left
They
in
should have said
absolute
like a
shock.
flood of emotions,
Yeah, they're
or
not
some
very
shit.
articulate of what he is seeing. He spots an unbelievably looking cradle-like bed made of a beautiful light of different colors. That's called a rainbow. Being carried by one angel. As the angels slowly place his soul into the cradle, another angel sprinkles a beautiful smelling musk never smelt by man upon Ahmed. Like little twinkling stars, they slowly fall upon Ahmed like small, colorful snowflakes. That's so beautiful, dude. I want to be carried like a baby and put into a crib when I die. So, well,
I'm
Ahmed is.
sorry, but Kikyo is gonna steal his soul anyways and keep it so that she can live forever. I'm such a douche.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna pause for a second and shout out to all the people still watching. I know it's late as hell, but we're over here reading this story like a bunch of gangsters. And they're stay steady, like they're listening along in the comments, and it's fun. I'm sorry, but they're right though. See, this is not this does not follow the current exegesis of what we have in the hadith. The hadith say you go in the grave. You don't immediately go straight to heaven or hell, because that's the whole point of
Exactly.
Judgment Day, Resurrection Day, and Judgment Day, and all that stuff.
Exactement.
Okay. While Ahmed is being treated to this death of honor, the other group of terrifying angels of torture headed towards Mo and the girl he was with. Okay. Uh, as of yet, they have not said if the girl was Muslim or belonged to a Muslim family. So she could very well be a Christian or an atheist, or just like she's just a random girl that he met at the club. So we have no reason to believe she's Muslim.
Yeah,
But
unless they live in a Muslim
let's
community, because
see.
it
It's
seems every
possible.
fucking character is Muslim.
Yeah. So let's see. Maybe they're gonna try to make it seem like she was Muslim, but she doesn't wear hijab and she just was wearing skimpy clothes or whatever. Let's see how they
Yeah.
treat her. Like a skewer being ripped through wet cotton wool. Cotton and wool are two different materials, but okay. The angels tear away at Mo's and the girl's soul. The angels with Ahmed prevent him from hearing the screams of the two so that he can be at peace as much as possible. Oh, how considerate.
Yeah.
Oh, Allah, no, please. I'm a Muslim. I'm a Muslim, I swear. Mo screams as the angels of punishment rip his soul out, veins and arteries dangling from his body. So, wait,
What the fuck is
did they
this? Is this
affect
a
the physical
soul?
world?
This is like a motherfucking hollow killing a human
So
right
he
now.
so like the paramedic, let's just pretend that the annoying ass sheikh, no, not even the sheikh, because there were other people who came out of their house. Let's say someone called 911 because they were like, he's just standing there staring, he's not going to call him. So someone else called 911. Some paramedics are coming and they're like trying to treat this kid, and then all of a sudden his chest just pops open and all of his veins are pouring out and his arteries are just dangling.
By an invisible force.
Yeah. Muslim? Oh, this is this is the angels. Muslim? Do not degrade the name of Muslim. You disobeyed Allah and you lived in denial of Allah's punishment. Now you will suffer for now and forever. The angels scream out to him in thundering voices as they throw his and the girl's soul into a bed of dark black fire.
Wait. Let me do one thing. Muslim, do not degrade the name.
Because it's a thundering voice. Yo, we need a boy on the show who can read the boys' parts. We need someone with a
Yeah.
deep voice. Okay.
Yeah.
Next time. Okay. So this is the girl. May Allah curse you, Mo! You guided me this way. May Allah give you a double punishment. Okay, she knows who Allah is, so maybe she's Muslim.
And also, why are you blaming Mo? You're the one
But
who
she said you
decided to go
guided me
outside
to,
of your house.
like,
Huh?
did he influence her before?
Influence her? Like maybe he's just a bad influence, but can you blame little 16-year-old, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds
Mm.
doing, teenage things? Like, I don't know. Like, of course she's gonna try to dress like that because I'm pretty sure other kids in
Mm.
her school are doing that shit too.
You guided me to this. May Allah give you a double punishment. The girl screams out as her flesh and bone is left exposed as she burns slowly and agonizingly in the bed of fire. I didn't force you to sin. You came to me willingly. Mo cries out. Quiet.
Sounds like they fucked.
Save your arguments for the day of judgment, even though we're judging you right now and punishing you before the day of judgment. The angels scream out to them. Both Mo and the girl look up and spot Ahmed floating in the sky. If only I listened to Ahmed on the road, I may have been with him now, Mo says to himself as tears pour from his eyes from both the agony and the regret. Back on Earth, Ahmed's parents have come onto the street to see what has happened. Suddenly, Ahmed's father spots his son lying in a pool of blood on the road. Yeah, Allah, no! I'm sorry. Way too late. I'm being so loud.
No, good.
No!
It's funny.
Ahmed's father screams out as he rushes towards his son. The Imam spots Ahmed's father rushing towards the body. He quickly gets up and tries to prevent Ahmed's father from approaching the dead body. What happened? Is he okay? Is he okay? There's a pool of blood around his skull. Is he okay?
Tears are coming out my eyes right now. Tears are pouring down my eyes. I mean, down my cheeks.
The Imam takes Ahmed's father by the shoulders and embraces him in his arms and tenderly kisses his cheek. Allah has taken Ahmed back to him. You know what? No,
erotic.
This Imam. Erotic fiction, Islamic. No.
Wait. This Imam sounds like the devil straight up.
This Imam was evil. He was encouraging Ahmed to die. He's like, Say Shahada, son, be at peace, closing his eyes and shit. He's like not calling the cops or a ambulance or anything. And then he's trying to play it off. Oh yeah, he was already, Allah has taken Ahmed back to him. No, you didn't help him at all. Ya Allah, my son, my son. And his father says as he almost collapses to the floor.
This is gonna sound rude, but doesn't he have 2 other sons and a daughter? Maybe he should rely on them. I don't know why he was so focused on Ahmed. He should have focused on his other sons. Maybe he failed with them too, and he was like, Ahmed was like the last.
I swear, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. The Imam slowly helps the father to sit upon the ground. Muhammad, listen to me. Your son has turned back to Allah. I saw him crying so much in the masjid today. He was there for about 2 solid hours, all by himself, seeking forgiveness. I had a beautiful talk with him, and he even bought you some gifts to try and please Allah in making you happy. Best of all, dear Muhammad, he pronounced the Shahada before going, and not only that, but he saved an elderly Muslim sister. Wait a minute. How does Imam know this? Was he there watching? How does he know?
Because
they said, oh, he heard the crash of the truck and then came out. No, he was watching this all happen. I'm telling you, it's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
He saved an elderly Muslim sister. He looked up into the sky and smiled just before his breathing stopped. He literally sat there and watched, like, just sat there like a sadistic freak watching Ahmed take his last breath. He's like, yeah, stop breathing. He didn't. I'm done. Okay. Take this, the Imam said as he handed the bag of gifts Ahmed bought for his parents. Ahmed, if he wasn't a sociopath, his dad would just throw the gifts and be like, I don't want that, I want my son back. But no. Ahmed's father was still in shock as he held the gifts in his hands. Slowly, he lifted the gifts out of the bag. There he found a beautiful bottle of musk for himself and a delicious box of chocolate. He read the following message attached to the musk. How would he know the perfume is for him?
Well, I don't know.
The dad knew that was his message to read. How'd he know I'm done. Dear beloved father, this is for you. I love Allah more than anything, and I will do everything in my power to make you and Mama happy. I cannot wait for tonight to pray Isha prayer with you at the masjid. Tears poured from Ahmed's father's eyes. Of course they did. If he hadn't been crying, if he hadn't been crying consistently every second throughout the whole beginning of the story, then his crying here would be more would have more impact. But it's like, oh, tears poured from his eyes. Just another day in the Ahmed household.
I know.
My son has made me proud. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Muhammad got up and ran towards his wife, left his son in the dust. He's like, fuck that boy, who had made her way back into the house, He ran towards his wife, who had made her way back into the house. So he ran back into the house. Oh my God. He really left his son in the middle of the street, dead. He left his son's body in the street. Mm-hmm. He's like an excited little kid. He's like, Aliyah, look at what our Ahmed got for us. I swear, there's something I forgot to tell her. I feel like there's some big news that I have to tell her first. But look, our son got us presents. What am I forgetting? Oh yeah, he's fucking dead.
He's a narcissist, man. I swear.
But no, let me tell her about these gifts first. He quickly handed the box of chocolates to his wife and asked her to read the message. What the hell is wrong with this guy? Listen, this is really gonna be hard news to swallow, but he's in the, I don't know exactly what happened because he got hit by a truck. He's in the street bloodied. No. Read this message. Look at this gift he got us. It's super cool. Dear beloved mother, these chocolates are for you. I have hurt you both physically and mentally, and by Allah, it will never happen again. From now on, I vow to make you smile and never frown. I vow to make you happy and never sad. By Allah, we will pray to Allah together, and inshallah, we will walk into paradise together as one big family. Subhanallah, la ilaha illallah. My son turned back to Allah, Aliyah cried out. This is so sad. This motherfucker, this son of a bitch.
Okay, look, I was gonna say we have 3 more chapters, right? Or 2 more chapters?
Yeah.
I'm kind of sleepy. Can we do it
Oh,
tomorrow?
are you serious? Well, let me
Or
see.
or
How long
or
have we
or I
been?
could or I could sit here and you can, I'll still be here, but like you
Oh, you
can
like I
continue it.
just read it myself
Yeah,
and then you just listen. I
yeah.
mean, maybe. I
I'll
wasn't planning on doing
contribute.
a part three, but we can. Oh, I love I
I
love
mean,
you
because
said
this is a cliffhanger
go into the
right
light,
here.
Ahmed. What the F? I'm still alive. Oh.
So comment below if you guys want us to continue or have a part 3.
Mm. Okay. All right, cool. But let me finish this. So it
Okay.
says Muhammad told her the story of what the Imam told him. What story? He means he told her that her son is dead? It doesn't even have it's just such lazy writing. It doesn't even have that part. It's like he told her, whatever. The important part was that she read the message in the chocolate. That's all that matters. Nobody knew of the honor and beauty Ahmed was experiencing, while nobody knew of what the terrors Mo and the girl were going through.
I remember this story from back in the day. Like, there's some things that are stuck in my brain
Mm-hmm.
from it. So I'm telling you guys, like, if you guys tune in next time, you
Yeah.
guys will just die,
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
just
Let's
from
do it
like how
tomorrow.
funny it is.
So
Like, just
basically, next chapter is just going to be a bunch of gratuitous, violent gore porn, basically, of torture, very descriptive torture and very descriptive whatever Ahmed has, because they've already pretty much made it obvious that Ahmed is going to have some type of nice, beautiful experience, while Mo and the girl who unfortunately was with him that had nothing to do with the situation and didn't actually do any sins, but we'll get into that. But they're going to get terribly tortured. And we're going to go into very graphic detail about the torture.
yeah, it's gonna be great, you guys. Promise you.
Wait, what does it say? Okay, yeah. You're right. Okay, so we're gonna stop here actually because it is kind of late, and we'll just do a part three. And when we do that, we will try to finish it off on that note, and possibly earlier on in the day, like if we can, if you're free tomorrow. Anyway, I'll text you and
I shall be
we'll
free.
set up a thing. But hey, someone earlier on in the comments in the beginning of the show said like maybe you should do it, have this be a thing where you like read stories.
Yeah,
Maybe we can find like
absolutely.
a slightly shorter story and just like read stories. Um, not, I mean that's not going to be the only thing I do, but it's a nice break. It's I don't know, it's fun. Anyway, yeah, we'll end it here. We'll call it a night because it's been like I don't
Sorry,
know.
you guys, because it's almost like 5
It's
a.m. for me.
no,
So I
I
was
mean
like,
it's a good thing because I don't want to be. I don't. I don't want it to be like I don't even know how long we've been here. I don't want it to be like more than 2 hours or get up to the 2 hour mark. So we'll just, yeah, we'll just go and then hopefully tomorrow we'll have a part three. We'll end this up.
okay, yeah.
Okay. All right. It was fun. Everyone have a good night, and we'll finish this thing. The final conclusion of this
Bonne
gripping,
nuit et bon rêve.
epic story. Okay. Good night.
Au revoir.